Pedals are an incredibly fun way to waste all of your money, but also to change up your sound and add a dynamic element to your live performances and recordings. There's distortion, and fuzz, and octave, and whirper, and chorus, and flanger, and reverb, and delay. It's the secret behind Thundercat's quack, the secret behind Chris Wolstenholme's endless synth tones, and the secret behind Cliff Burton's insane buzzsaw tone on his solos. If you're just starting to explore pedals and you're feeling maybe a little overwhelmed, know that that is an appropriate response, because the pedal world is an endless rabbit hole into which you can fall forever. But know that it is possible to start small and cheap and then grow in a logical way to more elaborate pedal board setups as you understand what your needs and preferences are. In this video, I'm going to show you what I think are the 3 levels of pedals, starting with level 1, which is just a pedal. Now, when you first start getting into pedals, you'll probably end up starting with something like an overdrive or a fuzz like this big muff, and you'll just have it on the floor connected at either end by a cable from your bass and a cable going to your amp, and you'll probably end up powering it with batteries. I also often recommend starting off with a multi-effect pedal, something like a Zoom B14. This allows you to test drive a ton of effects for cheap, and then you can see what you actually use and what you like before you actually go and spend a bunch of money on pedals. The downside to multi-effects is that the distortions tend to be not great, but the rest of the effects tend to be pretty decent. Now, as you grow in level 1 of pedals, you'll probably find yourself in a situation where you've got a couple of these pedals linked up on the floor, connected by batteries, and it's hard to set them all up and take them down every time, and you're worried about batteries being dead or not, and that is when you need to move to level 2. Level 2 of pedals is this. We're basically adding a board to mount your pedals to, and then also a power supply like this one spot so that you're no longer relying on batteries. This is the board that I built in about 2011 or so, and it's served me very well for the past decade. It's basically just a piece of plywood that I rescued from a dumpster, and then I cut it to fit the suitcase that I'd had lying around. And then I spray painted it black, put a couple of strips of Velcro on it, and that's basically it. If you want to do something like this for yourself, I recommend starting with the suitcase. You can find them at thrift stores, and then cut your piece of wood to fit it. Also, a little small pro tip here, if you cover the entire back of your pedals with Velcro, it'll be too sticky. I've just been doing 2 small strips of Velcro, and that gives it plenty of strength to stay on the board no matter what, but still easy enough to pull it off if you need to rearrange things. The other part of this is that I've got the one spot, which typically only powers one pedal, but I've got it hooked up to a daisy chain. In fact, there are 2 of them on this board so that I can hook up both rows of pedals off of just the one power supply. Now, with a pedal board like this, you may never ever feel the need to go any further. There are plenty of people out there who just build a DIY pedal board like this and then they use that for their entire career. And there's nothing wrong with that. These are great. But if you're already at this stage and you want to upgrade it just a little bit, where do you go? Well, let me show you. Level 3 ditches the DIY pedal board and the suitcase and goes for something pre-built, like this all aluminum Temple Audio pedal board. You can also do like a pedal train pedal board or a Gator pedal board. They're all great. Now, the reason why I opted for the Temple Audio board for me is because of this module system. You can see there's these punch outs and you can mount different modules in there depending on what your needs are. For example, I've got this DI mod, which adds a DI out signal because I don't have a DI pedal. And then I also have this. This is a Chox power supply that's going to mount directly in here. And what's great about this is that it gives us isolated outputs. And the reason why that's important is because some pedals, when they are on a daisy chain together, they can introduce hum or noise. Now, this isn't an issue for all pedals, there's just some. Your mileage may vary on this, but with a power supply like this, you can eliminate that noise if it is indeed present in your system. The other advantage to this power supply is that you can flip these little doodads here and get different voltages for the different outputs. For example, if you have a pedal that requires 18 volts instead of 9 volts. The other advantage to a pedal board like this is that it makes it really, really easy to do very clean cable management. So let's put this thing together, shall we? Oh, by the way, I don't think anyone from Temple Audio is ever gonna watch this, but I bought all of these zip ties for about the same price as like 2 of those quick release plates. It's not gonna look as clean, but come on guys, those things are too expensive to use, and you know it. So that's where I'm at now, and I'll probably stay here for a while, but levels do exist beyond this. You have stuff like multi-level pedal boards or like wraparound pedal boards. There's rack effects that are a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. Plenty of room to go up from here. Let me know down in the comments what your dream pedal board looks like. I'm curious what you guys are into. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more bass stuff. Anyway, that's it for me, so AMP out!